to the fest.
Well, hello everyone, and good day. We just had a little bit of technical glitch right there, but I would like to welcome you all for today's Author of the Hour session. This is a very special day for me as well to do this kind of session. And of course, with me today is one of our author, Lynda Daniele, and she'll be talking about her book. It's a very interesting book. I'm not going to tell you the title yet, but
Mhm.
yeah, there you go. You're showing it. Grandpa Nick's mom and Grandpa
Oops.
Nick's the conductor, and a lot more. And we're going to talk about that later in the later part of this, session. But first of all, I want to thank everyone for really supporting us since the first Festival of Storytellers. You guys were in there. You were giving us comments, feedbacks. You know, engaging with authors, asking them questions about their books, stuff like that, and it really gave them the drive to really move forward, continue with their writing, even though if they are at some point, we can say it's they're somehow a little bit failing at in some part of this journey as an author, but here they are, just like Linda as well. She got a lot of ups and downs in this industry, but she's still doing it. She's still publishing books. She's still writing stories, making sure that our children, us parents as well, will be able to read some interesting contents to our children and make them learn about life, or maybe whatever is the topic in the book. But for those who are watching us live right now through our the Festival of Storytellers Facebook page and YouTube channel, and even in our the Festival of Storytellers website, please don't forget to subscribe, follow us, and also don't forget to visit Linda Daniele's website, please. It's ldanielebooks.com.
Mhm.
So anyway, before we begin, how are you doing today, Linda?
I'm doing good. I'm really looking forward to talking with you, and I just enjoy this festival so much. This is my third year doing
Yeah,
this, and I have so much fun during these 2 weeks. So
yeah,
I just kind of wanted to say too that if anybody has anything that they would like to talk about in the chat, just type it in, and we'll try to get to you, as much as we can as well.
absolutely, and that would help us as well, guys, to really let you or give you the topic that you want us to talk about today. And of course, Linda can share to you something that you wanted to know, because I might have a question that that may not fit your you know to you. So I'd rather let you guys comment, ask questions, so that we can kind of figure out what we can say about it. But um Linda, this is the third time that you're going to be doing this
Mhm.
Festival of Storytellers season, event. And the first festival, how was it? Like, what was your feeling that time? Like, what did you expect? Probably that's my question.
Well, I really didn't know what to exactly expect, and so it was an experiment for me. I
Hmm.
had never done anything online before, and over the course of the 3 years, I feel very comfortable in this medium. And for me right now, I'm just sitting here talking to you in my kitchen, and hopefully, there's a lot more people out there that are listening. And I just want to express my love for reading and for writing. I really truly love to write. It's gotten to be more of a kind of a passion instead of just a hobby. It started out as a hobby, perhaps, but now I really truly love. I love to write, and if anybody out there really wants to do some writing, this is an opportunity to be able to do that. It's nice to see you too, Kian. Umber. I don't think I'm saying that name right, but it's nice to see you too.
Yeah, Cadaver. I think that's how they pronounce it. I'm not sure. It sounds like I don't know. I'm not familiar with the name, but if we pronounce your name correctly, well, just let us know. Uh, Canu. I think that's Canaber. I think that's how it
Okay.
is. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice to see you, Linda. Oh, there you go. We got some comments from the audience. But Linda, you are a former elected library trustee, and I guess that helps you to be, probably helps you to be an author. But what's also interesting is that you're holding a degree in Bachelor of Arts and Music and a Master of Public Administration. So I was just wondering, did you not even think about like going to the uh like writing some songs maybe for children or for someone?
I used to
I was just
a long
mhm.
time ago. I used to have a nursery school program that I worked for called Music Movement and More. And I used to go to nursery schools. I would travel. I was the traveling music teacher, and I did a little, a few little songs like When the Saints Go Marching In and things like that. And that was really fun. And then very long time ago, I used to have a voice studio where I taught voice lessons. So that was
Oh,
with my uh, background in music. And, the poetry and the writing and the rhyming of the writing all falls into the same thing. It all pretty much comes from the same place. Um,
right.
but yes, and I was a library trustee for 13 years. And the little claim to fame here in my town of Southwick, Mass, is that it was the first voluntarily built public library in the country. So, and I was
Wow.
fortunate enough to be chairman of that when we were building that. So it was unusual because we were putting government, volunteer, and labor union work together on the same project. And as far as I know, that hasn't happened since. So, it's a good sized library, and it's still beautiful. So I was able to be on the ground floor of that kind of building. But my love of reading and writing it comes from my family. I had said at one of the other broadcasts, I have an Italian grandmother who could read and write in Italian, but not in English. She came through Ellis Island in New York and came as an immigrant in like 1920s, and but she instilled in all of her grandchildren a love of reading. And I remember specifically sitting on her lap when she would be reading to me, and I realized she was making up the story with the pictures. She wasn't reading the real words. But thank goodness I had enough common sense. I never said, Nani, that's not the words. I never did that. So I was really glad. And all of her grandchildren went on to higher education. And on the other side of my family, I have my great grandmother was an elocution teacher. And I don't know if anybody even knows what elocution is anymore, but it's the art of public speaking. And she used to go around the country with the suffragettes to get people the women in the United States to be able to vote. Because really, it wasn't that long ago, women couldn't vote. And so but she used to do the public speaking for that. So I had a love of reading from my grandmother who couldn't read in English, and then I had a love of speaking and writing and storytelling from the other side of my family. So it's writing and reading have been a big part of my family.
Well, that's great. Well, that's no wonder. At least you have some bloodlines that were actually into that kind of stuff
Yes,
in
yes.
the literary industry. I mean, it's sometimes their skill of reading you a like just like what you mentioned earlier. She's reading you or she's telling you a story from a picture. So that's a very you know she got a lot of create. You got a creative mind right there, and
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
and in order for you to create or publish a book or write a story, you need to be creative. You need to know how
Hmm.
to to get to do to like the flow of the story. That's what
Hmm.
I'm trying to say. You need to know when to give them like the sauce. You gotta make it right. Otherwise, they're gonna get bored
Right.
with the book. So with this first book that you actually showed earlier, Grandpa Nick's Bomb.
Hmm.
Um, so this is a story that your it was your husband, right? Your late husband
I'm
was
sorry, what?
actually
This
it,
is a true story.
the
This is
true
a true
story, right?
it's a true
Mm.
story, and it's the story of the children that lived across the street from us. I don't know if you can see that or not. Um, and that's my husband in the middle of them.
Yeah.
um,
Oh, you know what? Excuse me, but we got some question.
ooh,
Is this a question? Your book is a shining example of that special bond kids have with their grandparents. I'll definitely read this to my own grandchildren someday. That's
oh,
from
that's wonderful. Thank you, Rebecca.
Rebecca. Yeah. I'm sorry, I have to cut you off with that. I think
Oh no,
that's a very
that's
interesting.
wonderful.
That's very interesting right there. But anyway, you showed me a picture earlier. That's very.
Yes.
Is that a? Oh, that's a
The,
real picture. Okay.
these are the children that live across the street from me. This was a long
Hmm.
time ago now. Two of them actually are in college, and the other two are in high school. But one day they came over and they asked my husband if
Right.
he would be their grandfather, and he said that they would. And unfortunately, about 4 months or so later, he passed away. But that's what the story is. The story is about those 4 months. He was silly, he was playful. He put him up in trees and swing sets and all sorts of things. Put them in put Joseph in a clean trash can just to be silly, no other reason.
Joseph is one of the
He
kids.
did crazy things with the kids,
Okay.
but they loved him. And so um, when he did pass away, it was a real shock to everybody, but it in particular, it really got to them because they just got a grandfather. They didn't realize they didn't have one, and both of their grandfathers were not around. So um, Nick stepped into that role, and he was happy to be able to do that. But that's what the story is. That's what it's about.
That's interesting. And in the process of creating this book, and since you mentioned that this was uh, a real story of your late husband who's actually very playful to the kids across the street, did you even have a situation wherein you're pretty much in tears while creating the whole storyline, remembering things that you were like good things in when you were still together, stuff like that?
Yes, that's kind of what happens to me. Is it is cathartic. After my husband passed away, I went for like 3 years and was not in a good place, not happy at all. And then one day I just started going to the YMCA, and they had a writing class, and I just started writing stories about my husband. And over the course of maybe a couple years, this story came about, and it really did help me to remember the fun times. When you remember the fun times, it makes things go a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And so it was very cathartic to be able to write this, and it really did help me. And on the second one as well, this is based on truth. My husband and my son were both trolley operators at a local museum in my area, and so it was just talking about memories of different things that happened. Some of the things are true in this, and some of them I just made up, in the story. So it's loosely based on truth. Yeah, yeah.
Well, in this particular two books, there is your husband in there as one of the character. Um, if you will get a chance to kind of meet this character, what would you say to him? Like, what would be your message to him?
I probably honestly would say thank you for all the laughs because we laughed a lot. I would say thank you and something like stay silly. I think it's so important. The world is I watch the news. I try not to watch it. I really have sort of made a decision not to watch the news actually.
What
And
is this all about?
yeah, and I would rather bring the light of happiness and joy to people. And hopefully my books will be able to do that. Because we need to sit down, we need to play with our kids. We
Exactly.
need to read to them. We need to do silly things with them because their childhood is over in a blink. It doesn't last very long, but those things last forever when you take the time to play with children or read to them or teach them, um, take them on a nature walk, whatever it might be. Those things last throughout their whole life. It's the things that they remember. And I really think part of a parent's or a grandparent's job, or anybody that cares about children, is to create wonderful memories. I think, as you get older, you forget the details a lot of
Yeah,
times, but you do
yeah.
remember. You remember the time you went to Cape Cod or the time you went to Mount Washington, or you remember those things, and those things are priceless. You can't put a money on that.
Oh, yeah.
Totally priceless, and that's hopefully what my books and my poems and things would be able to talk about is those priceless things that we do remember.
So, well, thank you for sharing that one, Linda. I just wanted to also ask you this because, at some point I get to meet authors who are actually having a hard time finishing their book. Like, they started this book, let's say, 2 years ago, and the story's in there. It was pretty much, they do have the illustrations that they needed, but they couldn't make up their mind on like what to do or what is, like, for example, one scenario that I encountered. He got a very interesting storyline. It was about like a girl, sort of like an Alice in Wonderland kind of
Hmm.
book.
Hmm.
Okay, but you just don't know whether those illustrations are correct for a certain scene. So pretty much we helped him out. We provided suggestions, but he couldn't make up his mind.
Hmm.
And so my question is for you is that how do you manage to finish a book, for example, like in a situation like that? What would be your, let's say, your advice, or if you are in that position of that author, what would you do in order to really,
It's
like.
it's a funny thing. Sometimes I get my inspiration by overhearing somebody else's conversation. It's a funny thing. I try really. I don't know if this makes sense, but I try really hard to listen um, around me. And I do believe in the Lord. So I sometimes I'll hear something in a conversation and I'll go, that's what I need to do, Lord. Oh, okay, that makes sense. And I've in the different things that I've written over the years, sometimes it comes from an overheard conversation. So that's one thing to do is I think as because authors are artists. We are creative and we are artists. So
I agree.
sometimes we can be creative by keeping our listening ears, like I would tell children, listening ears open and to the different things that are around us. That kind of helps. Um, my situation was a little bit different because I'm not writing fiction. I'm writing about a real person and real children and real things that happen. So I think that probably makes it easier. Um, because they're in my mind and I want to make sure that I'm able to, uh, you know, um, give them the right light, the right present them in the right light. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Mm.
So I'm not having to make up different things. I
Oh, we
think
got
making up things is a little bit harder to do.
yeah, we got common story. Monique Watson. It's so wonderful that the children find comfort in their faith. Not many people believe that much how important is spirituality in life. I agree.
Exactly. Spirituality in life. Thank you, Monique, for that. Today, I think the world is in a very odd place. And it could be, maybe it's happened before, but it seems an odd place for me in my lifetime. Maybe I can say it that way. And faith and spirituality have that's what's gotten me through um, the death of my husband and other different things that have happened in my lifetime. Without my faith, I don't think that I would have survived the last 11 years.
That's
But
true.
I can also say one of my questions is, and maybe you can help to answer, can you have faith without an imagination?
Well, that's a very difficult answer. I mean, question rather. I mean, you need to really have, you need to think about it. Like, for example, if you have faith into something that you wanted to achieve, it will happen because it's in your mind. You have to imagine it. You have to basically. I was trying to remember the term for that one, but you have to um, be positive at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you need to keep it in your head all the time, like, hey, I'm gonna be able to do that. I'm gonna be able to achieve that. So if you believe in yourself, like if you
Mm-hmm.
have faith in yourself that you'll be able to achieve it, I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
can happen, you know.
And see that what I think, and I've gone round and round with a lot of different people on this.
Mm,
I really believe that I don't think you can have faith without an imagination, because like when I was little, I would I could some if somebody talked to me about God, I could imagine him. I
mm,
could see him. I could talk to him. I could
yeah,
talk to Blessed Mother Mary. I could so that imagination helped me to grow in my faith. So that's just something that I've been as a hopefully creative person, that kind of is in the background of the different things that I'm trying to write is that children, like today with the internet and all the different games that people have, their
yeah,
imagination is being given to them. They're not imagining on their own. When I was a
yes.
kid, I used to sit in a pile of daisies and have you know I'd make crowns and rings and all sorts of things, and I would imagine fairies around me, and I made little fairy furniture and all sorts of things, and I to this day I still believe that I saw them because my imagination was so
Makes you believe that
keen.
they're
It was
real.
keen,
Yeah.
so it's just something. And now as an adult, I think that's all I'm doing. I think I'm just imagining, but now I know how to write. I couldn't do it when I was little, but now I know how to write. So now I'm trying to bring that light of childhood to the written word. I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe somebody can type in an answer for me.
Oh, we
Let's
got
see.
another question here. Do you have any tips on how we can get our kids to be closer with their family? I mean,
Oh,
there's a lot of ways, I mean, um, it depends, I guess, with what kind of family you have. I mean, if you have a big family or if you have a small family, there's a
mhm.
different way, really, making sure that they're uh, close to you or something like that. So, I mean, for me, I usually make sure that I have time with them.
Right. And
You know,
time is keen. It's
yes,
very important. And making things fun. I think we've forgotten, again, with everything being done for us, we've forgotten how to have fun. Like baseball. It can somebody take a bunch of rocks and a stick and
Right.
have a baseball game? You know what I
Right.
mean? Can I don't
Well,
know how
well,
many kids can actually do that today. You
well.
know?
Right now, we got these things. These things.
Exactly.
We're in it like 24 hours. Like this,
Exactly.
scrolling up and down, and we have an easy access for those informations or things that we're actually not supposed to see. This, let's say, if I'm a 5-year-old kid right now, I mean, I
Right.
can access everything or anything I want as long as I know, where to go or what to click
Right.
or tap.
Right.
But
Shut off
before,
the internet. Shut off the
yeah,
internet and open a book. And see,
yeah,
that's a way, Jennifer, that you're able to be closer with family, is to have a family dinner, to sit down as a family, to make sure there's a rule: no phones, no internet, no games while we're
that's a
having our
challenge.
dinner.
That's a
You know,
challenge right now, Linda.
it is
Um,
a challenge.
Yeah, because there's so many kids right now. It happens like every day I go to a restaurant. You'll see like a huge family. They're like doing a dinner, and they're trying to have a special occasion, a birthday, whatever that is. And like 90% of them, like if there's like six of them in there, like four of them, they were like
Right.
this. They were like this,
Right.
and 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 they were just like nodding and nodding while you were saying something.
And
Okay.
yeah, and it's going right
And
over their head. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's no conversation anymore. And I mean, how would you know what's going on in that? Like, do you really have the focus to
What's
really
happening
listen?
in that
Yeah,
child's life? What's
yeah,
happening in the child's
exactly.
life? So that's when parents have to step in and say, nope, not during this time. Would just put that thing away, collect them, lock them up.
Yeah.
That's, I know
um,
teachers that have done that in school. I know teachers that have taken, they have a basket. You put your cell phone in the basket, and at the end of class, you get your cell phone
you
back.
get your
You
phone
know.
back. Yeah. Well, you don't have to say it in a way that they'll get mad at you. You just have to say
Oh,
it
right,
nicely.
right, right,
Ask it nicely. Like
right.
sometimes you tend to get a little bit rebellious to their
But
parents.
reading to your children is a wonderful way to
Yeah,
be closer, and that starts
exactly.
from when they're little. When
Yeah,
they're, even before they understand closeness, and they understand being held to read a book. They know that it's a warm feeling, and if they're brought up with that, then that's something that they can have their whole life.
that's true. And
Hmm.
we're supposed to be the foundation of learning of good things,
Hmm.
good examples. Good conduct, whatever that is. I mean, we have to teach them what is the right moral, something like that.
Right.
And
We have
how
we
can
have
we
to
do that?
also be
By
joyful. We
yeah.
have to also be joyful, because joy is contagious.
Hmm.
Joy is contagious. And if we're joyful, that makes a really big difference, I think.
That's
People
true.
see it. They see it.
Right.
They know.
And just like this book that you have right now, this books rather that you have right now, they do have something that I mean, it can give them some kind of lessons by the end of the day or
Yes.
after reading the book, right? With Grandpa Nick's bump, what would be the lesson that they can get out of it?
That joy is contagious, and that Grandpa Nick was very, very joyful. He spent his life. I mean, you can see this on his picture on the back.
Yeah,
He was always happy.
a happy man.
And even if he was having a hard day, even when he was sick, he never complained. He was always happy, and
Wow,
that's what the children remember. That's what they so a lesson is, even during hard times, the 4 months that we had with him, then the last 2 months were awful, but he still was smiling, and he still was happy, and we had our faith. And so you can have a really awful day, but there's always something at the end of the day. I have two rules for myself, and I'll just share
okay,
this. I don't know
All
why I'm
right.
doing it, but I'll just share it. One,
Yeah,
I
that's
have to
good.
do
Okay.
I have to do two things every day. I have to learn one thing new, and I have to help one person do something. So
Hmm.
I have to learn one thing new. It can be something just simple. And I have to help one person do something. If I've done those two things, then I've used the day the Lord's given me. If I have not done those two things, I've wasted the day. And I don't
So
want to
what
waste days.
you don't want to feel it the next day,
Yeah. I want
no?
to be able to learn something every day and to
Right.
help people do one thing. It could be, maybe it's just getting somebody a glass of water.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to cost anything. Maybe
Oh yeah.
maybe it's just a smile. People don't, I don't know if around here anyway, I can't speak for where you are, but everybody's like walking with their heads down. And if you stand up straight and you're smiling and they notice it, they
Oh
notice
yeah.
it. So that's something that I think is really important.
Oh yeah. We got another question here. What did you learn when writing the book? Keanu again. Keanu
Oh,
Astaya.
that is, what did I learn when writing the book? One, that I'm stronger than I think I am. I'm stronger than I think I am because I'm able to put um, some very, maybe perhaps sad feelings down on paper,
Hmm.
and make them joyful, hopefully. So that was a surprise. And also, I I learned that the depths of memories that I have are numerous. There's many. So and now I'm to the point where when I go to write something, I have to say I'm going to write about those things later because there's so many things that I can be doing, you know, and and that we just keep going. I mean, I'm not getting any younger, um, but every day that we have is a blessing, and we need to keep doing whatever it is that we do, and
Yeah.
to the best of our ability. But that's a really good question, Conumber. I'm very glad that you wrote that in. And if anybody
Yeah.
else
That's
has
true.
anything else to type in, just let me
Yes.
know.
Yes, and while you guys are watching, while you are watching live right now, I guess you better check our Facebook page, the Festival of Storytellers. I mean the website rather. I'm sorry, of Lynda Daniele's books.com, or L Daniele books.com, and you'll be able to learn more about Linda, about the book. There's a book trailer in there. There's even a an interview, I believe, for Linda, or with Linda. So you're gonna learn a lot about Linda in her website, and from there, you'll see, or you'll be able to maybe get some questions for us. You
Mhm,
know, that
mhm.
that would help us to move forward for today. But um, I also wanted to ask you this, Linda, when it comes to this industry, do you have any plans of writing any other books aside from children's book? I mean, maybe a thriller, mystery type of thing, sci-fi, or maybe some
No,
poems.
not so much, but I do have the two things that I'm working on now is another Grandpa Nick's book, and it would be
Hmm.
The Adventures of Grandpa Nick and the Model A, which is
Hmm.
about our old car. This is a Model
Oh,
A
that's a,
Ford Coupe. Yep.
you still
And
have him?
I do. My son has it. My son he's
Oh.
40 now. Yes, and he has the car. It's registered as a regular car, not as an antique. And it's a 1931 Model A Ford Coupe. And we took it all over the place and we had many adventures. So, what I did was, it's just a draft form. I can get it for you here.
Mhm.
It's
And
just a
while
little
you're,
draft form. I'm not, I've got a long way to go. But I can read you part of the story if you'd like me to.
yeah, why not? And before you do that, I just want to say hello or hi as well to Leticia Townsend. I mean, I know this.
Hello.
I know this beautiful lady right here. She's also an author, Linda,
Okay.
and I was able to do an interview with her the other day. I just couldn't recall what day that was, but she's a very interesting person, and you got to check her out as well. Lakeisha Townsend. That's how you spell or look for her name. I just
I
couldn't
love
recall
to.
if yeah, I couldn't recall if she got a Facebook page, but I do believe she got. So later on, we'll wait for her comments or feedback for that matter. Maybe we can try to get that one. But anyway, go ahead. Can you give me a little bit of that
Just a
draft?
little bit. Okay,
Yeah, sure.
so
Why not?
the car is talking. The only voice is the car.
Mm,
And the car is about 5 years old. So it's a young voice of the car. The stories are true, but yeah, obviously the car can't talk. But
okay.
you know, and to give you an idea,
Right. Right.
this is one of the drawings I did. So it's the car talking.
Mm,
Okay,
uh,
and that's why she has eyes and her mouth
right.
and stuff. So
Right.
that's just my drawing, but this is just draft form, so it's just baby steps. Okay. One very special day, Nick met a girl named Linda. He really liked her. The three of us went on picnics. The three is the car, Nick, and I.
Oh.
Okay,
Okay.
so
Okay.
the
Okay.
car is the person. Okay.
All right.
We rode in parades and ran errands. One day, Nick asked me, Nellie, should I get married? Nick always asked me very important questions. Yes, I said as best I could. Yep, that's what I'm going to do, Nick said. Nick was planning something special for Linda. I could see smiles in his eyes. I wasn't sure where we were going, but off we went to pick up Linda. Nick had flowers in my cab vases that were pink and white with long rose colored ribbons. She got into my cab and said, What's this? Flowers for Nellie? Oh my, I didn't know they were for me, I thought. Nick and Linda giggled as we Nick and Linda giggled a little as we drove to dinner at a theater and saw the musical Good News. Boy meets girl, girl meets boy, and they fall in love. They came out of the theater singing lovely songs and laughing. They had a musical competition going home about who knew the most Broadway songs. Nick won. I wonder what Broadway is. I don't know, but they're happy, and that's good news. When he was driving home, Nick took a wrong turn and confused Linda a little. Why are you going this way? She asked. Oh, I guess I was going to take you home, he supposed. He surprised himself and I think and turned around to Linda's house. He turned off my engine and they laughed and talked a long time. Then Nick got a little nervous and tapped my leather cushions a little and said, Since I almost took you home, I should probably marry you. What do you think? Yes, she cried. Ooh, chugga chugga, lots of lava, I thought to myself. So that gives you an idea of something that I'm working on now.
Oh my, that's very cute. Oh my God.
So it's the car that's talking, and she doesn't
Yeah.
like. There's a part where they call her the cat's meow, and she's like, I don't know what a cat's meow is, but I feel really good, So it's that. I'm still. It's just draft form, but it should be fun. Should
Right.
be a fun
And,
one.
and right now, while you have like how many illustrations for this guy for this book?
Right now, I only have four that I've drawn myself, and then,
Right.
like I was saying, I take the drawings. I scan them, and then I send them to your artists, and then they use this as a background. Like this is when we met a homeless man. And my husband always had a soda or something in the car if we ran into somebody that needed some help, or he would have some extra change. He
Right.
always put that in the car just in case somebody needed it, you know.
Oh,
So,
that's great.
but so Nellie is the Model A Ford Coupe, 1931, and she does all the talking. but like I say, she has a very young voice.
That's the that's a very. I think you need to create sort of like a video of this particular book. I mean, put it in like in YouTube and like create a character, put a voiceover with it. I think
Hmm.
that would really look great,
Would it be
right?
cute? I think it could be cute
Yeah,
too.
yeah, I know. I mean, anyway, we got some. This is a. I think we got a question. I love it when. Oh, this is a comment from Monique. I love it when a children's book talks about faith in a way that kids can relate to.
Yes, yes.
That's true. I agree.
One of the
Well,
things, and like in the back of the book here, and in scripture, in my faith tradition, I'm Catholic, and in my faith tradition, it does say in the Bible that there's a castle for everyone in heaven. So this was one of the pages, if I can get this right. One of
yeah,
the
you got it.
pages is
Hmm.
this is like a castle in heaven. So I try to take some of that knowledge and put it in on a kid's level, but not to make them feel like they're not smart or something. I don't want to be condescending to them. But then
Yeah.
here at the end, we have Jesus over here. Yep, I'm backwards here. Whoops,
Oh no, it's
I
okay. There
never
you
get
go.
this
There.
right. There's Jesus, and there's Nick,
Uh huh.
and there's God the Father holding the Holy Spirit. So the Holy Spirit dove. So I try to make it happy, and um, in my faith tradition, a lot of the artwork doesn't have Jesus smiling. It's really hard to find a picture of him smiling.
Right.
So I tried to do that. So I do try to uh, bring a joy. I think that's my Dominican. I'm a third order Dominican. I'm a lay sister, and my Dominican name is Sister Marie of the Joy. So I try to bring joy wherever I go, and I think that that's what we're called to do. If we can do that for one person, we've done a lot. Just it's just so simple. It's just very
Oh,
simple.
yeah. I mean,
But
we need that kind of thing right now, Joy, because there's a lot of things going on in this world that makes us. I don't know. I just noticed that a lot of people are so stressed, and there's a lot of killings going on. There's a lot of suicide going on. I mean, it's just getting crazier every day, and I think we need to make sure that we can secure the mind of our children by giving them some kind of like this, like a book like that you have right now.
hmm,
It can make it can take them away out of that particular situation or videos or
right,
topic because they might be able to access it. I mean, there's social media, it's all
right,
over. I mean, it can freak them out, it can make them afraid to go out, make friends, stuff like that.
right,
I
right.
mean, it can really affect their mental health. But anyway, we got some feedback here, a comment from Lakeisha again. I love children's book. Oh
Yes,
wow, thank you,
yes.
Lakeisha.
I
Well,
love, I
go.
love, I love it as well. And going back to bringing joy, like this is what the on the conductor. This is the final page of the conductor. So Grandpa Nick has his kitty cat with him, and
Oh,
we're
that's
driving
cute.
the heavenly trolley. You know, um, with all rainbows and happy, and he's got that big grin, and he's just waving and get on board. Come on board. So it's just I try to keep that with my books and even my thoughts and stuff. Um, I try to keep that in mind with spreading joy. Here is a
Mhm.
picture of um, my son Anthony and my husband as trolley operators, and we had
Oh,
an event that day. I remember this day very well. And then this is, if I can get it right, am I going backwards? Whoops.
almost there, almost there.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there you go. There.
Yep, that's my son and myself and my husband there.
Wow. And that
Yep,
was in the same spot, the same.
that was in the same spot. Yes, the same day. That
Okay.
was a fun day. I remember that event.
Wow. Well,
Oh,
you know,
thank you, Lakeisha.
oh, Lakeisha, you're so talented. Well, yeah, well, she is. I mean, Lakeisha, go to eldanielle's.com. If yeah, eldaniellebooks.com. Sorry, and that's her website. You know, get a copy of her book. You'll be happy by the end of the day. And I just can't help myself. You know, notice the background that you have in there, Linda. There's a lot of arts in there. Who did that?
This is my granddaughter. She's 5.
Oh,
Hence
okay.
the age of the car is 5, right? So this is her kitty fairies. That's her
Oh,
kitty fairies. That's my poster. And this one
yeah,
over
yeah.
here, I don't know what that is. I don't
Well,
know if it's her.
it looks like a bee or something. Maybe
I
I'm
don't
wrong, but
know.
from a distance, it looks like a dragonfly or something like
Like,
that.
yeah, it could be. I have no
Yeah,
idea. But if she draws it, I love it.
yeah.
And then I had this is her rainbow as well.
Oh,
And
is
then
it
her
okay?
watercolors. Yep.
Wow. Well, it's a good thing that you are really engaging this, this kid into art. I mean, that's basically improving their imagination, their skill. I mean,
Right.
they can be an artist in the future. And if you, and I believe your granddaughter is not actually into, they're not into, phones, right?
Right.
They
Nope.
were,
Nope. Not at
okay.
all. Not allowed.
Yeah, pretty obvious. I mean, with this artworks that you have in the background, I mean, I'm pretty sure that they're, pretty much engaged with this kind of stuff in real worlds, not in those, mobile phones. So, for all of your books, Linda, what is your goal for them? What are you planning to like to achieve or to get out of your books?
That's a really good question because I'm in the middle of doing it. I guess maybe 10 years from now, I would answer it completely differently. But um, to spread joy, to spread light, and for me personally, it's an opportunity to remember my family and also for my granddaughter because these books are true stories and she will be able to say, oh, that's my family. This is all about my family. That's like a little family history, but in storybook form. Because when I started to do it, I really started to do it as a scrapbook. I had photographs and I was writing underneath each photograph, and then the scrapbook kind of turned into a children's book over the course of time, and but it really was going to be a scrapbook for her, and she was really little then. Yep.
Wow.
So, yep.
And
So
and
we have a couple minutes left here. I do
we
have
do.
something else that I could do. And this is just it's only draft form. That's all it is. But it's a poem that I'm working on. That will be my fourth book. Um, oh, I do have,
Oh, we got another question
there's
here.
a,
I'm just a little curious about this. Do you think someone could be a writer if they don't feel emotions strongly? Hmm.
that is a
I don't.
great question. That is a
Yeah.
great question.
I don't. I couldn't agree. I mean, you need to have emotion when writing. You need to write from your heart. I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of genre that you are writing right now. It could be about financial. It could be about, a science fiction kind of book. I mean, you need to have a heart in writing that. I mean, there needs to be an emotion in there. I don't know if you would agree with me. That it
Some
was just me.
it sometimes it can work both ways. You can have, I think, uh, be an emotional writer, but you can also start writing and find emotion that you didn't know was there.
Oh yeah,
It
that,
can
that,
be the other way around.
the
So
other way
there's
around.
a couple
Yeah.
ways to look at that, Canumber. A couple ways to look at that. Um, but that's a really good question.
But for
It's a
you,
really good
Linda, what do
question.
you think? Like, if you will be asked by someone or maybe by a person that is trying to write something, what would you say to him or to them
Like
if that's
when they're
their
beginning.
question? Yeah, if that's their
Um,
question.
I think to just jot down thoughts. Just jot down your thoughts. Even keep a pad of paper next to your bed. Sometimes ideas come in dreams. It's a funny thing, but
Yeah,
just write down random thoughts. And one day, maybe not today, maybe not this year, one day those random thoughts could come as a complete sentence, a complete thought, a complete paragraph, a complete story. Just keep jotting down that. But I think if people jot down what they're really thinking about, the emotion may follow. There may be deep emotion there that you don't even know that you have, because your mind can do some different things. And when you're writing, you're focusing on those particular items. So, that's a real possibility there too. I don't know. That's a good question though.
yeah, it was quite tough, but
Yes.
I mean, I guess it depends with the personality of the person or of that
And
writer.
the experiences that person has, personal experiences of someone, um, may make it more difficult to write,
Right.
depending on what they're thinking about and dealing with.
Yeah, that's true. And we got another one here from Ramio. Hi there, Linda. Can you describe your writing space? Maybe is that
This is it.
that's it.
This is it.
You're actually looking at it right now,
Yeah,
Ramio.
you are.
So, well,
Just different places in my house. I live in a very small little house. It's tiny and it's just perfect for me and my dog. And uh, but basically, I'm sitting here right now at my kitchen table, and this is where I do either that or
most of the
out
time,
there on my porch, one or the other,
yeah. I
depending on
actually
the
saw you.
weather.
Yeah, I actually saw your dog. Maybe I'm wrong, but I saw something in the background earlier in the porch. Like
Oh,
she
my
was.
dog was my dog running around.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Molly. Her name's Molly. Molly.
Molly.
Molly gets
Okay.
Molly gets around. I'm surprised she hasn't started, um, you know, barking yet, because it's really a miracle that she's not barking at the chipmunks out there.
Well, what kind of dog is that? What breed?
Oh, she's a border terrier. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, she's a
not so
border
familiar with
terrier.
that.
Yeah, she would
But
be
anyway,
she would be a sheepdog, a little sheepdog.
ah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's cute. Well, we got another
Brunsky.
one here. I'm excited to see the new book. Well, yeah, you got to check that out. What's his name? Brunsky, I think that's how Brunsky. I
Okay.
don't know. Yeah.
Would you
Um.
Would you like to hear the? I don't know how much time we have, but do I have time to
Well, we
do a
got.
little poem?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, poetry is very interesting. It takes a lot of talent, to and emotion as well, to be able to execute that. But that's just my thoughts about poetry, and I think you can give us an example of that one, Linda.
Okay, so it's not for children. This is more for adults, and it's called Moment. And again, it's just draft form. Friendship is like a strong hug in a sea of glimmers. I have no desire to leave an embrace that is true and genuine. A hello amid a pandemic of fear and authority. My only authority is to God, and to keep my own integrity by praising his holy name. Praise itself is a mystery to me. For so long I forgot what praise is. I still don't understand its necessity. I live moment to moment because it is where I am. Ever changing moments create a symphony of peace for me, a life where God is complicit in my marrow. Can I say God is my friend, or is it blasphemous for me to lower him to me? I think not, for he desires to lower himself, strong arms, beating pulse, an ocean tide to lift me and take me to himself. Like a child on a father's shoulders, safe, secure, and content. I cover his eyes playing peekaboo. Should I be so familiar with an all knowing God? Is it possible to say, Our Father, and really believe it? If so, I know I am always protected and any fear melts away. I never understood the role of a father until my hair turned gray. A mother to a child seems obvious tenderness, nourishment, and joy. Yet a father's strength lies in his arms to stand off evil and cradle his children and their mother. Of late, I think about these things as I float out to sea. O Father, cradle my heart in your arms as I learn to praise you more. My dear Father, rest me that I may know the joy of your home.
Wow.
So
Well,
that's
well,
just a little.
Lakeisha is actually saying that you are so talented, and we need more of that. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Well, like I said, Lakeisha, check her website, eldanyellybooks.com. You're gonna learn a lot from her or about her. And if you want to connect with her, you can absolutely, I think there's a contact page in that website of yours, and they can just easily click that one, or you can click that one and send an email to Lynda if you want to get a copy with her signature, in the book. So, for this poetry, for this poem that you just, shared to us right now, Linda, when are you planning to like publish them?
Well, first I'm working on the Model A book, The Adventures of Grandpa Nick and the Model A, and then I think the poetry one would be after that.
Mhm. And how soon do you think you can get it out there? Like maybe.
I'm hoping the Model A one would be done by this time next year, and then
Okay.
perhaps 2024.
Hmm.
It would be good to have the other one out as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true. I mean, that book sort of like can really give us, how can I say this, some divine knowledge, maybe, some faith to God.
Some
Um, that's what I noticed earlier. I mean, there's a lot of things going on in this poem that you shared earlier, and I guess we just have to watch out for some like other poems that you will be creating in the future.
Oh, well,
And
thank you.
mm, and how many poems are you planning to share to us in the
Well, this
future?
past summer, I took the summer off
Hmm.
to write exclusively, and I did I think it was 10 poems over the
When
course
you
of the
say
summer.
when you say exclusively, like you go somewhere else, like all by yourself, is that what you mean?
I went with some friends. I did go on a little vacation, and I wrote quite a few of them on the beach in Maine. I
Okay.
did do that, but yes, and sometimes it's just here. Sometimes it's just here, right here in my kitchen. Um, so it it just depends on when I feel like writing. But I did take quite a bit of time this summer, and um, just so that I could gather my thoughts a little bit and um, to write because I really I do enjoy it.
Well, that's great that you're enjoying writing because,
Hmm.
sometimes we tend to get frustrated or upset for ourselves that if we are not able to finish a certain, let's say, scene in a book. So that makes us sometimes really angry to ourselves, like, oh, what am I doing here? I keep, running in circles with this story and I don't know how to finish it. So that's good that you're actually enjoying writing. But
Hmm.
you have a dog. Does it affect your? Yeah, I mean that's one thing that came into my head just now because I was just thinking, oh, you got a dog and you want to ride peacefully or privately, exclusively, and what if your dog is barking outside to a
It's just
stranger?
part of
Or
life. Just part of
is
life
how do you handle that?
with the
Like you
bark in
just
the
ignore
poem.
it? Yeah. you don't get upset or hit your dog
Yeah.
or something like that for okay, that's
No,
good. I
no.
love that. Okay, well, I do have a a cat and a dog, and they keep on like fighting each other. They were like cat and mouse, and or Tom and Jerry, something like that. And they always break something, so I decided to kind of put all those fragile stuff on the side, making sure it's secure because they always fight. But like by the end of the day, they were friends. They were sleeping with,
Right?
I don't know what's going on with them, but every morning, like once I wake up, like I drink my coffee, they were there running, they were chasing each other, and sometimes I was thinking they were just playing, but they were hitting themselves. Like the cat will just, you know,
It's worth a story. There's a
yeah,
story in that somewhere.
yeah. And hopefully, I can come up with something. Right now, I'm actually writing my own story, but it's just that, um, like we can say it's a writer's block, maybe, but I just don't know how to end it. Like I'm 45 right now, so I'm just thinking maybe I'm too young to finish the book. And I don't know if I achieve something, great that would inspire a lot of people. So I was just saying that,
Keep
I'm
your
just gonna.
listening ears open. Keep your
Oh
listening ears
yeah,
open. Listen
there's a
around
lot.
you.
There's a
That
lot
really
of people.
does help.
Yeah, they were all telling me the same thing as what you mentioned earlier, and
Hmm.
most of the
Hmm.
questions that I asked you, or some of the questions I asked you earlier, are pretty much coming from myself because I want to know how do you finish a book that takes you so many ages or years to finish it. I mean, I started writing that book I think when I was like 28, and up until today, I don't know how to end it. I keep on
It'll come.
waiting. It
It'll
will come,
come.
but hopefully I will be able to finish it.
Well,
But
maybe
anyway,
one day I'll be able to read your book. That would be wonderful.
well, please, it will be my pleasure. You'll be the first person to get a
There
copy
you
of that
go. There
if
you
that
go.
happens. Yeah,
I
I
th-
I
I
swear.
think we're kind of
Mm.
running out of time here. I see a little note, the note on the side chat.
Oh, okay.
Yep, I
Well,
think we're running out.
we're gonna wrap up, and well, before we end this, author of the hour session, Linda, show us your book again and tell us why do you think we need to get a copy of each and every book that you have right now.
Well, I think that Grandpa Nick's bump is a wonderful story to be able to help people cope a little bit with this crazy world that we have. And I think Grandpa Nick the conductor is it's just a fun story. It's a fun story, and uh, you know, I think that they would make great Christmas presents because I can't believe it, but the holidays are really coming up
Yep.
shortly. They really are. And
Yeah.
hopefully the Model A picture will come, that Model A book will come soon. And, I've just enjoyed this so much, Red, to be able to talk to you and to reach people. And I'm really enjoying this festival. This is like, I look so forward to this. Even though it's my third time, I still look forward to doing this.
Wow. Well, thank you so much as well, Linda, for still trusting and participating this particular festival. We created this festival just to make sure that even though I mean, we started this like 2020, if you
Right?
remember that,
Yes.
and we because we know that there's a lot of companies or marketing firms out there that decided to kind of stop doing some marketing, and some of the authors, they don't want to go out anymore because of COVID.
Mhm.
So we have this idea, why not we create this festival and connect and get every authors out there and let them connect each other. And
Right.
I'm so glad that up until today you're still there, sharing your stories, your books to everyone, making them or inspire them to write more books. If they're an author already, you're still inspiring them to continue with their journey.
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
imagine this is the third time some of the authors, they just want to do one marketing or one showcasing of their book. They don't want to repeat that anymore because they don't see
Hmm.
anything out of it.
Hmm.
Let's just say there's no sales, maybe no attention, from the audience, but I guess like what you're doing right now, you are consistent with your marketing, and I think if you are consistent, and I mean I believe that if you are consistent, you'll get something out
Mhm,
of it. It's
mhm.
it may be slow, but sooner or later, but
Well, I got
you'll
to meet
get
you.
something.
I got to meet you and all the people at Reader's Magnet. This is a
Yeah,
wonderful platform. It's a wonderful platform. So I really, really appreciate it.
thank you, Linda. And I really appreciate as well your time for sharing your story and your book to the world.
Thank you very much. Have a great
Well,
day.
have a great day, everyone. And thank you so much again for tuning in this Author of the Hour session. Again, Linda Daniele, or you can go to ldanielebooks.com,
Mhm.
amazon.com, barnesandnoble.com. It's all in there. Grandpa Nick's mom and Grandpa Nick's the conductor is available in those platforms that I just mentioned. All right. So thank you so much again for your time, Linda. Enjoy
Okay.
your weekend, and I think.
I'll be back here the 1st through the 6th at 4:30 Eastern
Oh,
Standard.
oh,
Yep.
wow! Next week. Okay,
Yep.
that's good. That's good. Well, I'm gonna look forward to that one. But anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for
Okay.
tuning in. Have a great day, and thank you again for your time.
Bye.